Hello.
Hey, that's
Welcome
cool, man.
to another episode of Marty Carmels, proudly supported by Just Go Insurance. Wasabi versus Too Sexy, the battle continues.
That was cool. I have to continue to attempt to make my question.
Continue to attempt.
All I've done so far is attempt to make my car work.
You did fix the gooch, didn't you?
I welded the gooch. I heated up the gooch and welded it and melted it, which was unfortunate. And it still doesn't really work, and it didn't work after the last time we played with it.
I would like to just, if we can for a second, just to like cut the rubbish and have a quick game of truth or dare. Are you prepared to play?
Yeah.
Truth or dare, right? But it's a 3-part question.
All right.
Number 1, your car sucks. Number 2, my car is better and you genuinely like it better and you do believe that it's gonna win the battle. Number 3, I don't know what number 3 is. Number 3 is that you believe, mods aside, that this is superior styling and performance in almost every single way.
It's all true, man.
Is it?
It's all true.
Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. We've spoken. But you know what? Is it a gallop? A gallop attempt?
A Galant.
No, a gallop.
Maybe it's a Galant. It never was an Evo. It's always been a Galant.
It could be.
Oh, you figured it out.
Is that the word? A gallant attempt?
It's now we're demonstrating both of our lack of vocabulary.
Anyway, so Martin, it's going to be a gallant attempt anyway at this versus that. A lot of time and effort's gone in there. Like, let's be serious. Someone's loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but they did.
Yeah.
And they put a lot of money into it. And so that I rate. Like, I actually do.
Yeah.
But this result, for me, it's just like, it's not doing anything for my
You know
pitch
what?
at all.
It's almost the same thing. It's like, the paint and stuff's nice, but there's a couple of questionable issues with your actual example of a Saab.
Really?
I think Saab's a cool car. First thing I said when I saw it, that's really cool. Like,
What's funny is the paint's actually rubbish. Like, it looks good. It looks good on the internet, but when you have a look, it's
if you don't look too close, but like from afar, like 10-foot paint job, whatever, like it's pretty cool, jet fighter and all, but like there's something like that tissue and all those questionable things, like that's gross. Whereas mine just screams questionable.
I think what we're saying though is that it's a big happy family, isn't it, Martin? The Saabs and the Evos, we're like this, aren't we?
Look, I'm genuinely excited about playing with injectors because that's what I got to do.
Yep.
Like this is cool. I'm gonna measure them and I'm gonna like try and get more flow out of them and do like cool stuff like that and make my fuel system work because currently cars don't work without fuel unless they're electric.
That's true.
That's a form of fuel though. So one of the biggest problems I've had with Too Sexy, apart from the problem of looking at it, is fuel is not getting into that engine and it's not being managed properly. A turbo system's all well and good, but if you're not getting enough fuel in there and the computer's not mapped to run it, you're not going to make any power. It's got a stock fuel rail on it and stock injectors. From what I can tell, they're around 200 cc, which is small. It's fine for a 1.5 litre engine with no boost, but as soon as you're putting boost in there, you've got to get more fuel in. And I'm going to run out of injector really, really quickly. So what I've had to do is go and find different injectors. So I've been down to the wreckers and I've managed to find another fuel rail the same as what I've got. These are cheap because these are so common. They're the same as a Mirage as well, so 1.5. And the good thing is I've now got a rail external to the car can still work, where I can mess around with this, hack it up, cut it, do what I've got to do, and also experiment with injectors. I've got a couple of different injectors. I've got some old MX-5 injectors, which I don't think are going to be...
Can you please help? Sorry, man. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Oh. That's a heavy bastard.
It didn't feel that heavy last time.
Massive.
Sorry, man.
So I've got some old MX-5 injectors, which I think also are going to be a little bit too small. So at the wreckers, I also found, on the advice of Turbo Yoda, some EZ30 Subaru injectors. These are Denso, so that's a really common brand of injector. And they're all slightly different sizes, so I may have to experiment with rail height, but it's much easier to go with bigger injectors, longer injectors than it is smaller. So I should be all right to be able to experiment with these. Then if I can't get enough flow out of these, I might have to decap what I've got, which means you cut the end off, and then you've got to check the spray pattern to make sure that it's still is like atomizing all the fuel because you can't just have it squirting in. To do that, I'm going to use this little kind of test setup that I made. It's got an injector rail in there. I'm going to insert this injector rail in between so I can then trigger the injector for a certain amount of time and just have a look at the spray pattern and see how much fuel's coming out of it. And that's a really kind of cool homebrew way to try and make injectors work. You can go out and buy expensive aftermarket ones too, which in some cars is great, but this is all about doing it on a budget. So that is what I'm going to try and do with my mad injector bucket. It may not work, or it might work, and then it'll make mad boost. Decapping injectors, a little bit tricky, a little bit dodgy, but various amounts of success over the years on different cars, and particularly in Subaru world for some reason, this is a really kind of popular modification because it is something you can do for $0. All these injectors that I've got were cheap or free. So MX-5 ones are just old random ones I had lying around. There's another set of factory ones, the same as what's in the car, and I managed to pick up a set of EZ30 Subaru ones. I grabbed Subaru ones for a few reasons because I know that certain ones of these you can decap them.
Yep.
And what that means is you take off this little tiny strainer on the top,
yep.
Which slows down the flow.
And that just gives you the full
and
flow
it
of the
basically,
injector,
so
right?
there's one that there's one I prepared earlier because I have no idea if this is going to work right. I don't want to waste all that time. So that's got no cap on it. And see, it's just one giant pintle.
Yeah, right.
So the idea is, and it's really common in Subaru land, is that you take the cap off, it de-restricts the flow, and you can sometimes double the performance of injector. Now,
which is going to save you money, right? Because otherwise you're buying more expensive injectors that are performance injectors that are higher flow.
Well, and a lot of the time, performance injectors are just bigger versions of these. Now, there's a lot of science behind like spray patterns and efficiency, and I mean, it is a bit of a hack. Like some people manage to pull it off perfectly and get really good results.
I wouldn't expect anything less, Marty.
So I wanted to try it, and also this is like the perfect situation where you've got a bunch of old parts, you've got spares, you can afford to have a go at it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to use this little test bench that I made up, which is a fuel pump in a big bucket of fuel.
Yep.
And then that's got a return line going to it through just a standard.
Oh, don't tell me we plug the injector into that, and then we spray that out.
Yeah.
And then we get a stopwatch.
And we can get a stopwatch. That's a simple way of doing it. You can do like measurements of how much fluid is in there. All I'm interested in is how long does it take to squirt 100 mils? Because on a very basic level, if you squirt a stock one, and then you squirt a decapped one in various sizes, you should see a difference in time.
Yep.
So what I reckon we do is we plug in a stock one, see how long it takes. We plug in a stock Subaru
We're going
one.
to squirt multiple times and measure how much fluid comes out each time.
Exactly, in an examination cup.
Great.
So
let's do it, man. What are we going to do first?
I reckon we do
the stock one that's in the car, and let's compare that to the MX-5.
All right.
So because I reckon they're comparative in their levels of crud.
That's a stock one. That's an MX-5 one. And then we've got a Subaru ones to try as a stock Subaru one, and then decapped and see if it actually works.
They call MX-5s Miatas overseas.
Miata.
Isn't that weird?
Man, this is like a Subaru and Mitsubishi love-in. Like, I'm chopping up Subaru injector plugs, which they fit Mazda injectors, they fit Mitsubishi injectors, and they fit Subaru injectors. It's like a big JDM love-in, dude. It's more JDM than your Saab. Clamp him down, because there is a fair bit of fuel pressure behind that. Like, when you do proper bench tests, there's all set amounts of fuel pressure that you're supposed to use. Yeah. This is just whatever we can.
That's straight out the door.
Whatever we can find. So I've put a plug onto it.
Your and my science is usually pretty credible, isn't it?
Yeah, heaps. But hopefully we'll see a difference. So I've just put that to stop it spraying on us. And you can see 100 mils down here on the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to be wash around a bit, so we'll just have to see what happens.
So basically, I'll count us down. 3, 2, 1.
Yep. So that's got fuel pressure behind it now, and this will open the injector. Now at 100% duty cycle, which is what this is doing. Again, not completely accurate, but
because it's not, it's just blasting through.
But it'll give us an indication. So
all right. So this is test 1, and 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, look at it go.
Yeah. So you're kind of looking at this line here, because where it's spraying, it's not that accurate, but see the line?
Yeah, yeah.
We want to get that to kind of the bottom of 500 there. Getting close.
Which is actually 100 mils, right? Over here.
Yeah. So it's almost there.
Not yet on this side, 100 mil. Not yet. See over here?
Yep.
100 mil. Still a bit more. Bit more. Almost. Almost. That's 24, 25.
And
that's it, I reckon.
Done. Yeah, cool.
That's 29 seconds.
So stock one's 29 seconds.
All right.
All right. Now, I was speaking to Turbo Yoda about like various injectors and stuff, and he said that when they're at 100% duty cycle, they don't Like they can sort of flatten out a bit, and even smaller ones.
Okay.
But there's still limitations, which is what I'm interested in, is when you take the screen off, I'm interested to see how much of a flow restriction that is. So that's essentially what we're doing. We're just seeing if there's any difference with that. So unplug him.
I'll take a screenshot of that. So that was 29 seconds, and that was the stock Lancer one.
Stock Lancer one. So I'll pour this back into our fuel tank, which is just another container. Jam that on there. So, which one next?
MX-5.
All right, so Mazda 3.
Do you miss your MX-5, Martin?
A little bit.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm very surprised to hear that.
Such a good, like, just nugget weekend drive around, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are cool, but they're also completely useless. Like, convertible thing you can't put any luggage in, and not that fast and a bit old.
It's funny because we got a lot of mates with Roadsters, don't we?
We do.
And
I don't know if that says a lot about us or.
Well, there's two things they talk about a lot. One, their cars. Two, how they can't do anything because their cars don't let them do anything.
All right, ready?
All right, okay, and
MX-5
3,
injector.
2, 1, go.
Well, this has a different spray pattern. You can sort of see in there the way it's spraying, although we're not super interested in that for the moment.
Whoa, man, we're almost there.
Almost, yeah.
Almost. I reckon it's got about 15 mils to go. 3, 2, 1, boom. That's 19 seconds for 100 mils as well. So that was 10 seconds quicker, or 30% faster.
Well, that would make sense because I have a feeling the Mirage ones, and I know someone will correct me, are like high hundreds or low 200s.
Yeah.
And I think the MX-5 ones are similar, but maybe they're closer to like 230, 240. So as a percentage, that's sort of making sense.
Yeah. There also may be some discrepancy in the quality of the actual injectors in terms of like we haven't controlled them all with the amount of dirt or mess that's in them.
All right, so stock Subaru one. I'm expecting this to be similar to the MX-5 because
this is also made for an engine twice the size, right?
Yeah, but there's also more cylinders, which means you don't need as bigger injectors. You know what I mean? Because you've got
cylinder, yeah.
Like it's a big turbo 4-cylinder is going to have bigger injectors than a 6, generally speaking, at least in this case. So. He's plugged in as well.
All right, I'm going to screen grab that. So MX-5,
pour it back
19.
in the tank.
So we got 29, 19. It's all about the nines, Martin.
Yeah. The cool thing about this is you can go get your injectors flow tested professionally, and I suggest you do if you're really into it. This is a cool little experiment.
And 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, even finer spray pattern.
Wow, listen how clean it is. The other one's, and this one's just.
This is really new too. This one.
We're almost there. Pretty messy.
It is. Getting close.
There's the bubbles. I reckon that's there. That's 17 seconds.
17?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the one I'm interested in. This next one, I've decapped it, and it's either going to just fire hose in there, or it's going to make no difference, or it's going to leak, or it's going to do something weird.
We don't know. But that's the magic of science and the magic of the random nature of the universe, Martin.
So, decapped. Here we go. Clamp him on.
My excitement levels are fairly high right now, Martin.
Yeah, because again, you don't need anything to decap it. You just need a file or a Dremel. That's the beauty of it. But then again, if you go to decap your injectors and you mess it up, you need new injectors.
Yeah.
Because I already messed one up trying to just figure out how to do it. So there's that decapped injector.
And so potentially, just to give this some context, if we get the best results from this, you're just going to decap all the injectors.
I'm going to try to decap.
Because at the moment, under boost, it's not getting enough fuel, right?
No, well, these injectors are way not big enough for what I'm trying to do with the car.
Yeah, cool.
So, all right. We ready?
Okay, and 3, 2, 1, go.
Whoa. And stop.
8 seconds, so that was the fastest yet, which it should be.
That's at least twice as quick.
3 times as quick as the stock ones that we used at first. Even more than 3 times.
So if we're going to round it up very roughly and say that the stock ones are 200 cc or whatever, you could take a rough guess and say that's somewhere around the 600, 700, which is what's supposed to happen with WRX injectors.
Well, 3 times as fast should mean that it's 3 times the capacity, right? Is that how it would work?
Yeah, approximately. It is a flow rate, so that's how long it took to flow 100 mils. You know, again, if you want super accurate results, go to a flow bench. But that's interesting, isn't it? Because that's zero investment. If you already own the injectors and you chop the top off them,
or you just go to the wreckers and get these for like nothing or free. What's not around.
And Subaru injectors, not bad. These are really common. These ones are in 2 litres, 2.5s. These are 30s. They're cheap.
The next question is then, Marty, based on this information, what does that actually mean for Too Sexy?
Well, the good thing is because Too Sexy's got that little Haltech in it, the idea is that I can put any size injectors I want, and all I do is go in the software and go 600cc, and it adjusts everything.
Is that not like cheating or something?
Sort of, except the only thing I've had to do to my entire car to get it to work is stick an ECU in it.
That's true.
And fix a little, the gooch. You know what else I'm interested in? Let's have a look at the spray pattern. Oh, fully fire hoses in there. That's crazy. They may work, they may not, but I'm tempted to throw them in and see what happens. It's a couple of minutes job just to pull the rail out. I've also got a spare rail now, so what I can do is put all my high float ones in and go donk.
Just see how it goes, and if it doesn't work, take the whole lot off and go again.
And just find something else, maybe find, I think you can use injectors from a turbo, an actual Lancer.
Yeah.
So an actual Evo Lancer.
Like a real one?
A real one.
Yeah, okay.
And you can use those in like 440cc. Fun and games though. So I've managed to decap 2. Luckily, I bought injectors off a 6-cylinder car, so I've managed to kill one of them because I did it wrong. Then the next 2 I've locked out. I've got 3 more, and 2 of them have to work for this whole setup to work. These injectors are only just slightly longer than the stock ones, but that's not going to be a big issue for the rail. They should just fit straight in. And yeah, hopefully it's going to work. So the trick with decapping these things is you've got to just take the very top off the injector but not hit the actual pintle. You've just got to take the top of this off with a Dremel, and then the actual little screen just slides off it. The screen you can see on an injector like that. So you're literally removing this rubber, removing this plastic, and then cutting away the edges of that screen so you can just flick it off, and you're left with something that looks a little bit like that. Decapped. So here's my spare fuel rail. Here's my 4 decapped Subaru injectors, which we're taking a wild stab and saying they're somewhere around 600, 700, 500, who knows. Either way, they're going to go into the rail like that. Bam. And then I'm going to put the fuel pressure regulator, the rising rate one that I've got, or the map boost referenced fuel pressure regulator. A lot of argument over that one. That I'm going to stick into this rail, and then this rail is going to go into the car, rearrange some fuel lines, give it a boost signal, and set the fuel pressure. And then hopefully this will just work. So that is an injector and fuel pressure regulator upgrade. I'm priming the pump, putting pressure on it. There's plenty of pressure there, and nothing's leaking. So I can't actually run it because the Elite's not programmed for injectors that big. It'll just flood because it'll just be squirting heaps and heaps of petrol in there. But assuming that the Haltech's happy with what I've done decapping them, that could be a thing. Too sexy.
So there it is. What's next, Martin?
Well, every good show car is usually for sale.
This sticker sucks.
Yeah, this sticker sucks. Every good show car is usually for sale. So I thought it would be pertinent to have a for sale sign on it. At least every sex spec car I've seen in the last sort of 10 years.
Well, they usually are at the show with the for sale stickers on them, aren't they? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's kind of the best advertising they're going to get.
Yeah, and someone's going to buy all your hard work. But no, I'm feeling good with mine, man. Like, it's got injectors. Like, I'm just solving the problems that it had, and that was the biggest problem. Was it just was not going to run reliably without some kind of thing to control the fuel and decent injectors and all that kind of stuff in it, which hopefully, I mean, my decapped injectors are a bit of an experiment that I've been interested to have a go at, so this is the right car for that kind of experiment, I think. And
Martin, can I just say, we've done engine swaps, we've turbocharged things, we've done the world's only E85 supercharged classic mini with flex fuel.
Yep.
We got no idea how to put a sticker on there.
This sticker is just.
Is it junk or are we junk?
It's
That's
all
the
right.
question.
It's all right.
Oh,
Look,
wow.
we got there.
Far out.
But they usually look something like that, don't they? I mean, it's all about keeping it real. Look, and you know what? I think a sex spec car that actually makes power and chops Saabs, I reckon it's actually cool. Don't you think? I mean, your average.
Are you back to believing you're going to win again? Are we back to that delusion? Because I thought we've kind of come full circle now.
I honestly.
It's not even on straight, man.
That's fine. I honestly don't know. That worries me. I mean, a few people picked up on my face when we first went for driving that, and you hit boost. I was like, oh crap, because I thought it would be like slow.
Yeah.
And it's not slow.
Yeah.
It's not fast. It's like stock 180 slow.
Yeah. CA 180, because SR 180s are faster than that.
Probably.
You and I are probably like floating in a similar delusion, which is that there's kind of a certain aspect of the car that we like and a certain aspect that we don't like.
Pretty much, man. I mean, there's lots of aspects that I'm sort of getting more and more comfortable with, having. But look, I think once it actually goes, because it's never worked properly, and until it works properly, I don't think I'm going to really like it. So I'm really looking forward to actually just making some power, taking it for a drive, figuring out all the other stuff that's broken with it, and then we'll be on to a winner.
Probably not a winner, but what the hell?
Oh yeah, I got that wrong.
Oops. No, get another bit and just put it over there.
I'm gonna, man, I'm gonna.
Nicely and put that segment in there. Dude, that's it. That's all class. But ultimately, Martin, I think it's going to be about just going to the track, having a good time.
Yeah.
And smashing the Evo.
Most important thing, does your handbrake work?
This is what I don't know yet. I read that my handbrake goes to the front wheels. But then I think on my model, it goes to the back wheels.
I hope it goes to the back wheels. Because that is going to be so much fun, man. Look at that.
Well done, Martin. See you next time. I'm hungry for a barbecue chip. You ever had those honey soy chips?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're so flavoursome.
What about chips on a pizza?
Yeah. Dude, I had them the other night.
Really?
In the middle of the night, yeah.
Oh.
That was awesome. Thanks, Martin. See you, mate. See you, mate.